I just started feeling more like I have past lives. I don't know what made me feel that way. If it was just something I read and it just connected with me. I think one of my girlfriends once said, you know, there's the idea that we have past lives and then we have the same social group that we did in past lives. So if you meet someone and you feel connected to them right away, it's because you were connected in a past life. And that just stuck with me for some reason and connected with me. And I loved that idea.
This fast forwards to the beginning of the conversation when I said in the past lives, and of course it's felt easy because we were together in past lives, which is what the Akashic readers told you about us.
Yes.
Because we have the same reader.
Yes. So then you reached out about the Akashic reading, and I've just been open to try anything and everything.
Sure.
Because I get monthly forecasts from my astrologer from Bali. Every month she does a birth chart, little reading, just a small 10, 15-minute recording of what's to come. And it was funny because I was trying all these different reading sessions, and she told me in one of my calls recently that this year is going to be big for spirituality for you.
Oh boy.
So be really open to saying yes to anything, trying anything.
Oh boy.
And so if something comes up, I'm like, yes. So I booked a Reiki session. I booked the Akashic reading. I just booked a tarot card reading. And I'm just finding what connects with me, because I was never raised religious. I didn't connect with organized religion. I never understood it. I went to church when I was a little younger, tried it out, and I was like, this doesn't make sense to me. And just like someone would feel that way with an Akashic reading or a past life or a different idea, they're like, that doesn't make sense to me. Organized religion never made sense to me. But for this past year, I've wanted to find a deeper connection to the world around me. Why am I here? What is my purpose? Where did I come from? What is my journey after this? And I may never know the answers to all of that, but why not start digging just like people dig into history? Why shouldn't I do that the same way, in my own way? And when I had the Akashic reading, she was like, oh yeah, of course you and Danica get along. You have a very similar past life experience. And she had some incredibly spot on things about just me as a person. I asked her if I would ever have children because I've always questioned that. And she laughed and she's like, oh yeah, she's right here. And my astrologer said that you're going to have a daughter someday. It's a feminine energy.
Isn't that crazy when you like talk to them? They're like, oh yeah, they're right here. And you're like,
yeah, what do they look like then?
Really?
What do you mean?
Like, holy crap. You know, you just want to like tap into that, right?
Yeah, it's so matter of fact. And she was such a warm and kind
being. She's so sweet.
Yeah, her energy is great. And she just had this spot on over and over. But then it also made me, as soon as I got off the phone with her, I was like, I'm going to start meditating. She just said something that connected with me. I'm going to start meditating. I'm going to start journaling. I'm going to start looking at crystals. And so all these things have just been little stepping stones of trying things that I don't know anything about. But what if something connects with me? And what if something helps me get a better understanding of where I came from and who I am and what my future may look like and purpose. Like it gives me more purpose to be an even better person and to have empathy for people, because it gives you a more connection to the world around you and people who are going through the same struggles as you are, but in different ways. And when you get attacked online, or a person is mean to you in a grocery store line or cuts you off in traffic, it gives you empathy for the person and compassion for the person and the struggles they're going through. And that's what spirituality has given me as I'm on this very early new road. And where is this going to take me business-wise? Where is this going to take me in my relationships, my friendships?
Right.
But it's given me compassion for the world around me, which is...
Has that been the main shift that you've felt so far?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, how's that showing up in your life differently now?
I felt very defensive online before, where I had to always defend myself when someone said something negative, or prove myself right, or act like I knew everything. And now I can just be like, what is that? I've never heard of that. Oh, I've never heard that word. I don't have that vocabulary. Oh, you don't like me? That's okay. Not everybody's going to like me. And I hope that whatever you're struggling with that causes you to lash out at me, I hope you get through that. And it's opened me up to understanding that we are all human beings learning things and figuring things out. And that's okay if we don't know everything. And it's actually a really beautiful thing that to know that we know very, very, very little and we have so much learning to go.
Yeah.
So that's what I've gotten from spirituality, and I can't wait to see where it takes me, in what direction, and if it takes me into travel, if it takes me into different experiences.
Have you heard, what do you think it's going to be like? What do you think it's going to be like?
The path of spirituality?
Yeah.
Oh man, I want to know what you think it's going to be, because I think I'm going to dive deep.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to cause me to travel different places and do things on my own. I think I might do a meditation retreat, a lot of breath work, different experiences that give me a different feeling of tapping into my inner soul a little bit more. But I don't know long term.
Well, have you ever seen those memes on social media where, by the way, you're never going to stop? Once you've started now, it's very, very uncommon that someone ever stops the ball rolling once you get it going in this aspect of growth. It's really about growth. But I think that, and I hope I don't make anyone mad, but I think spirituality is kind of the word for kind of including everything.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of inclusion in spirituality. There's a lot of understanding, and it's very open-minded. And I think that it's kind of a different path than religion, organized religion, that can feel pretty regimented, and it's kind of one way, and that's the way it is, and you believe these things. And so that's why I call it, it's really about growth. And so you're really never gonna, I don't think you'll ever stop that. So what I'm gonna tell you is not going to deter you, because you've already seen the beautiful benefits, and there's always beautiful benefits. But here's the problem: is it ends up you have to go through really big growth periods where it's growing pains. And there's always going to be pain with growth. And there's going to be what I like to call an alchemization of old energy. It has to burn down to the ground before it can be born again into something new. And that burning it down is really painful. And so a lot of the things that are painful include looking at ourselves in a much, much, much more deep and meaningful and intentional way, and accountable. That's probably been the big thing that's changed the most for me in my life, is the accountability that I have for myself, how I show up, my reactions. And it's just a never ending journey. But what I was going to say is, on Instagram, how they have what we thought the spiritual journey would look like. And it's kittens and rainbows, and it looks so great. And then what the spiritual journey is really like. And it has someone that's super distraught, makeup down their face, and their hair's a mess, and there's Kleenex box next to them. Because I've gone through iterations of really big burning down of certain things, and realizations of things that are going on, because it really forces you to look at the truth of what's going on in situations, to realize, and the truth will come through. And so sometimes it's and I think in a lot of situations with a lot of people, they kind of stay in the same place and don't change a lot and don't grow. So there tends to not be these burn down periods. There's not these growth spurts, these pains, because nothing's changing. So it's all just kind of status quo. But once you're on the journey, it's going to keep going.